Ladies and gentlemen, a Heisman Trophy winner and a Super Bowl MVP, and a guy who is on College Game Day at 5 Eastern Time on ESPN, and at 7 Eastern Time, ABC's second night coverage has this man. Ladies and gentlemen, Desmond Howard.
Thank you.
I didn't miss anything. Great father. Your son is here. Just met Seth Rollins. Dad points. Yeah. Dad points have been acquired.
Great dad points. You know what I mean? Yeah, my son, little twin. You know, he's here with me. Yeah. That's my guy.
And he's not wrong. I smile when I see it. What is it like for you to come back to this town? People must be they must smile when they see you too.
I tell you what, Rich, you know, for me to come back here and bring my son Desmond Jr., he's a student at the University of Michigan. Mm-hmm. He wrapped up his freshman year. He has a twin brother who has one more final on Monday.
Okay.
So little twin was able to come. Big twin is still in Ann Arbor. But this is his first time in Green Bay. So for him to experience all of this in Green Bay with me, exactly. Wow. Now you understand, like, the magnitude of this for me personally. So it couldn't be better, bro. And then when I got the text, I said, hey, man, we're going to do Rich show tomorrow.
Thank you.
Rich Eisen? He's like, yeah. He's like, oh, Dad, I can't wait. So, you know, he knows Rich is my guy. Like, I love Rich Eisen because Rich said, hey, say it with your chest. My man.
Where'd that come from?
I said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So my son knows where Rich is with me. So I was like, yeah, we got to do this. We'll prep for the second day a little later. We got to do Rich's show. So thanks for the invite. Thanks for being so gracious to my son, too.
Are you kidding me? It is quite literally the least I can do after all the joy you have given me in my life, and obviously so many people around here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm back on the Rich Eisen Show radio network, sitting at the Rich Eisen Show desk furnished by Grainger with supplies and solutions for every industry. Grainger has the right product for you. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. For our radio audience that just rejoined, this man is going to be on ESPN College Game Day at 5 Eastern Time, as he is every single Saturday during the college football season. And tonight, round 2 of the draft coverage on ABC Network Television features this man, Desmond Howard, is here on this program. So let's just jump right into it. Were you surprised that the Browns traded out last night instead of taking Travis Hunter? Were you surprised by that last night?
So even though I'm a Michigan man,
yes, sir, I
was born and raised in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that's a long-suffering town football-wise. Obviously, the Cavs won an NBA championship when LeBron returned. But football-wise, long-suffering football fan base. So I thought this was going to be the answer to the Browns' prayers, that we would get the top player in the draft. I mean, Travis Hunter is, he's a unicorn, something like we've never seen before. I was really surprised that they traded out. I don't know what reaction was recorded by the Browns fans when they saw that. But, you know, I think they're trying to gather a lot of picks, future picks.
Yes.
So that's what you do, which I understand that part of it too. But he's such a unique talent. I don't know if I was a GM, I could have passed on him.
Well, I mean, I assume you voted for him for the Heisman, right? Is that a correct assumption?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, because it's sort of, you know, despite how incredibly talented Ashton Genty, obviously, and you know, and Cam Ward, the first overall pick. Last night, as a matter of fact, was the first time since 2011 that 3 of the 4 finalists of the Heisman were in the top 5 picks of the draft.
Oh, wow, okay.
The last time that happened was when Luck, RG3, and Trent Richardson went 1, 2, 3 to start a draft. So,
wow, okay.
So they were some talented players, obviously,
exactly.
in Manhattan last year.
Exactly.
But this kid it's a different story. Involving Travis Hunter, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been doing this since 2005, Rich, and I never even imagined I would see someone who can play both sides, offense and defense, with so many snaps. Not just like primarily an offensive guy, but they can bring him in nickel situations, or primarily defensive back, and they could bring him in. I mean, listen, we're Michigan guys. You know, we had Charles Woodson, and Charles Woodson became the person everyone talked about as far as a two-way player, a guy who can play offense and defense. But still, every time someone talks about Woodson as the Heisman Trophy winner, they say, well, he was primarily a defensive player.
Yes.
You really can't say that about Trav.
Well, I mean, Charles did a lot of his other damage on special teams, maybe more than offense, right?
Yes,
when he was doing
exactly.
it. When you see a kid strike a pose like this,
yes.
when you were the first to do it,
right?
What do you think of, Des, when you see that?
It's just it fills me up with joy to see that they're still carrying on this tradition. And it's even bigger and better when I see like heads of state or just other people, random people who aren't even football players. Mm-hmm. They strike the pose like that. That's when it really just like. Poof. So, yeah, but it's good. There it is right there. Yes, sir, the original.
Now, who did you do that against back in the day?
I think that was against that
Say it.
Ohio
State. Yeah.
The
Ohio State. Well, let's talk
the
about
Buckeyes,
that.
Yes.
I had, you've been involved in multiple draft broadcasts now, so things move fast, right? They move faster than you think. It's 10 minutes in between picks, but like Cam Ward's walking last night, the trade hit. Yeah. And now we're talking about the trade and Travis Hunter. Now, boom, the Giants are going. And
exactly.
Boom, it just keeps going and going,
sir.
and you got to take a commercial break, and it's just your head's filled with so much. I did still find time. After Kenneth Grant went 13th overall, made 3 Michigan Wolverines in the top 13.
Yes, sir.
And so I still had time to text some friends of mine, Desmond, to say 2023 national champs, 3, 2024 national champs, big fat 0. And then when Grace Abel went. Before anyone from Ohio State, I got to text North Dakota State before the Ohio State. Man, I'm still living my best life, even though I have a little less ground to stand on right now since Ohio State won it all.
Yes,
and rightfully so. They were terrific.
Mm-hmm,
but still, I still have fun like that.
No, I'm glad you do. You have enough fun for all of us. You know what I mean? You do the things that I can't do. You know?
I'm here for you.
I love it. That's my guy.
I'm here for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
And so all that said, we see how Michigan has been sending all of these kids to the next level in a certain way. What do you think about, just as a moment for us, about the future for Michigan right now? Because we had Bryce Underwood on our show. I got to see him in person. Okay. You guys got to see him in person as well. Yeah. I could not believe he's 17. I could not believe it.
Ridiculous.
He is.
It's ridiculous, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think we're in good hands. Okay. I think the future is bright. I think that I saw Bryce too. I was up in Ann Arbor probably about a month or so ago. I watched him a little bit at practice, and he's a very big quarterback, strong. Kind of looks like, not quite Cam Newton, but he's in that mode size-wise. He can throw the ball. The ball just pops out of his hands. You understand now why he was the number 1 recruit in the country. And it's just a matter of them molding him to what they need to use him for in their offense. I think that, I know that, listen, Sharon Moore is an excellent coach. Mm-hmm. He has a great offensive mind, but at the end of the day, they're not bringing this kid in to throw the ball 45 times a game. Like, it's still going to be a smash concept. They also got the running back out of the portal from Alabama, and they brought in the running back who went for 100 yards in his first start as a freshman, Marshall, against Alabama in the bowl game, meaning it's still going to be a run-first, run-heavy offense, sure. I believe, right? So this kid, he has a run element, Underwood. He has an element of running the ball that he brings to the table, too, but you don't get him to run. This guy, he can spin it. He can hit every area on the field with his arm.
Well, the thing that I left impressed by when he left our studio, Desmond, you mentioned Cam Newton. Mm-hmm. And Cam Newton is somebody he mentioned who he emulates.
Really?
And he told a story about, what did he say? That it was a 7-on-7 game or whatever, and it was he was playing against a team that Cam was coaching.
Okay.
And he said that they torched the opponent.
Okay.
and I said to him, so did you go up to Cam afterwards? And he goes, well, I did, but I don't think Cam really wanted to talk because we just beat the brakes off him,
Makes sense, yes.
And then he started telling a story about meeting LeBron and telling LeBron, I'm coming for Ohio State.
Right.
And so he already wears, in my way, the comfort and parlance of generationally talented. The fact that he sounded like a veteran who says, Cam wanted no part of wanted to come up and talk to him because I just beat him.
Right.
Like he kind of has that sort of competitive spirit that you hear from somebody that's next level. Obviously, he's got to do it now. That's the issue.
Exactly.
But he kind of felt comfortable because I said, what's it going to feel like when you're going to walk out in the big house for the first time? He goes, I don't know. I've got cameras on me all the time. It's just going to be another day with cameras on me.
Yeah.
So I kind of got that from him.
Yeah.
That's what gave me some very excited feelings.
I think there's a level of maturity that he brings with him. Obviously, he's a very confident young man too. Growing up in Detroit or in the Detroit area, he's always been, from my research, a Michigan fan. And even though he was at one point committed to LSU, he, as a young kid, he wanted to go to Michigan. He had other concerns about the program because things that was happening at that particular time, and that's why he committed to LSU. Plus, I'm sure, NIL played this role also. But ultimately, when he understood what the situation was at Michigan, then he realized, okay, they're on solid footing. This would be a great landing spot for me, and I've always wanted to play for the University of Michigan. So you got that element that he brings too.
Desmond Howard here on the Rich Eisen Show. The few minutes that I have left with you, sir.
Yes, sir.
How would you term Shedeur Sanders still being available tonight? 32 mistakes on Thursday night? Or a fair evaluation by the league of his next level abilities?
So as a college football analyst, I watch these guys. I watch them develop, pretty much from day one until they reach to the point where they're draft eligible. And I always felt that Shedeur was the most NFL-ready quarterback just by what he did on the field. I mean, you're looking at a young man who resurrected not one but two programs. So for him to go to HBCU, Jackson State, and resurrect that program to the point where it was so relevant that GameDay arrived there. Now, you can't just put it all on Deion Sanders because we also have some high-profile former NFL players who are coaching HBCUs too, and we haven't been on their campus. So it's kind of bigger than Deion Sanders. If Deion Sanders was there at Jackson State, but they were losing games and struggling, we don't show up. It wasn't a charity, visit. So I say that because the role that Shedeur Sanders played in elevating that program. This is a program that, if you know anything about college football and HBCUs, they don't have the facilities. They don't have the resources. They don't have the funding. They don't have anything that this Power 5 or Power 4 schools has, but they were able to resurrect that program to a level of relevance. Then they moved on to Colorado. Things are going so well for Colorado right now that people forget how terrible it was 3-4 years ago. Like, they were awful.
One win.
Deion
came in and told everybody to get their Louis Vuittons because he was making them all pack up and move out.
And he got his own Louis.
Yes, he did.
And that's Shedeur. So then he moved on, and he did it now at the Power 5 or Power 4 level and resurrected another program. So you're looking at a young man who, I think, because of his history of resurrecting these programs, winning, taking, in the process, taking a butt kicking. Like, he didn't have a great offensive line in Jackson State, and he didn't have a great offensive line in Colorado, but he wasn't the guy who sat there and complained. He put the team on his shoulders, and obviously he had a freak with him and Travis Hunter, but outside of that, they had to make it work. So I felt as though he was the one who's most NFL ready, not just by the traits and if you had a big arm or you got, you're a dual threat and you're like the fastest quarterback in the draft, but the mental fortitude to go through what he's going to have to experience at that next level. When you watch these analysts talk on TV, you rarely ever hear them talk about the mental rigors that you have to go through as a college player transitioning to an NFL player. You're going to hear about all of these attributes, these traits, these characteristics, blah, 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 blah. But if you talk to a former NFL player, if they're honest with you, they're going to tell you this game is far more mental than physical. And to me, that's the difference when you bring Shedeur Sanders. No player in his 4 years at university has been through the scrutiny of Shedeur Sanders. When you carry that name, you carry that legacy, the microscope is always on you. And to me, he's always handled that extremely well. He's the guy whose nickname is Grown because when he was a little boy, he had the old soul and always acted with a level of maturity of a grown-up.
Desmond Howard, in the couple minutes I have left with you, it's only fitting that you're part of a draft here. Seriously, I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
and seeing that scene last night, 200,000 people in a parking lot with Lambeau Field,
It was beautiful.
as the backdrop.
Absolutely.
You helped bring a parade here to this town. In all seriousness, in the couple minutes I have left, how did you wake up Super Sunday? Like, did you feel like this is your day?
Oh, that's a great question. That is an excellent question. Oh man, I felt comfortable. I really did. I spoke to some people who were really, really close to me, and they knew how to tap into me mentally to get me ready for that moment. So that was like the biggest thing that happened to me. Talking to certain people who have been with me throughout this journey, but they've been, like I would say, for lack of a better title, mental coaches for me. And that's what put me in the right headspace to go out there and perform, because that's a huge stage. I mean, I don't care who you are. If you ever played football, your ultimate goal was to play in the Super Bowl, because that's it. That's the top of the mountain.
That's it.
And if you're a football fan, I don't care if you're a Bengals fan, Colts fan, 49ers fan, the ultimate goal is to see your favorite team in that game. So now to come to the realization, Rich, that within a matter of hours, I'm about to go out on that field and play in the Super Bowl, something I've been watching since I was yay high. The game that when my team lost, I was a Dallas Cowboys fan, and when they lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers, I literally cried. And now I'm about to go and participate in that game. This is the top of the mountain. So to prepare myself, I had conversations, and once I was mentally in the right space, then it was game on, baby. Let's do it. Let's go.
And when you did it twice, did you look up and go, I can't? No, I'm serious. Did it hit you? This is. This is it.
I was so in the moment because
in the zone.
In the zone, exactly. Yeah, right. And don't forget, I'm on the field with some first ballot Hall of Famers.
Hey, Desmond, just to continue on with my role in your life of saying things that you can't. You helped put a ring on Favre's finger.
I did.
You helped put a ring on Reggie White's finger.
Absolutely.
You helped Mike Holmgren have a street name. I'm not lying. What I'm spitting facts right now.
Appreciate you.
You helped do this.
Yes, sir. Yes,
you helped put a title in Titletown, man.
Yes, sir.
And
brought the Lombardi back to Titletown.
You did.
Yes, sir.
After a long time.
drought. Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
So
thank you, Rich. Thank you.
Yes, these are all true facts. All right, before I let you go, Jay, bring it out right here. Jay, if you don't mind bringing it out. There's a vintage clothing store right next door here.
I'm a vintage type of guy.
Well, then you got to visit it before you go back here. Here we go. I found this vintage Desmond Howard era Michigan starters jacket.
That is,
Would you
exactly.
mind? Hey, Jay, do we have the here we go.
You got the marker?
Yeah, I got the marker. Would you mind?
Oh, it'd be my pleasure.
We are going to take this home. Here, sign the front of it. I'll bring it over to you.
I got you. I got you.
And this will be part of the Rich Eisen Show studio from now on.
Nice and big.
I mean, this is your era, right? This is the Michigan era
Absolutely.
gear.
Yeah, we used
Then
to
you-
wear starter gear, son.
There was nothing like him.
Oh, man.
That's it. So Desmond Howard is signing a Michigan starters jacket.
That's right.
Like back in the day when we were all wearing it, celebrating Gary Moeller's victories, right?
Absolutely.
And you winning the Heisman Trophy. And we figured this is perfect gear for the Rich Eisen Show studio.
Love it.
You the man. What does it say right there?
Oh, yeah, look at that.
91 Heisman, Desmond Howard.
Good? We good?
We are good.
Awesome.
That jacket just became much more valuable. You're the best.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.